Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review and a demo of the brand new Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Hydrating Longwear Foundation. So this is the second foundation released by Fenty Beauty, and this one, as it says in the name, is a hydrating foundation in comparison to the soft matte one that was released first as the first ever product to be released from the Fenty Beauty brand some 2 to almost 3 years ago. This comes in the same amount of shades as the previous foundation, 50 shades, and the shade names and everything is exactly the same. So if you know what your shade is in that range, it'll be exactly the same in this one. Let's just quickly talk about the shade range quickly. Again, I know I've mentioned it before. I think these are some things that I've probably mentioned on my Insta stories and Snapchat, but never really delved too deeply into recently. If you saw my first ever review of the soft matte foundation, I showed the shades 300, 310 and 330, all of which are too dark for my MAC NC40 skin tone. I then went and bought the shade 280, it's too light. So I thought, let me buy 290, what can go wrong? I'll be really honest with you guys, there is a massive range of people that have been missed out from the Fenty Beauty foundation range, in particular my skin tone. My skin tone, MAC NC40, is quite a popular skin tone within the South Asian community. We've got very yellow and very golden undertones. However, I don't feel that Fenty hits the mark with that one. Even this shade here, now I would say, is probably the best match that I've come across from all 5 that I have tried. And I would say that this is probably an NC40, but maybe not as warm as an NC40 by MAC. I use that as a comparison because that's what most people tend to go for these days. So my apologies if you don't know what your MAC shade is. Now, I have got a tan at the moment. I have been in South Korea where it was 36 degrees. I'm not too tanned, but I'm a little bit tanned. However, I'm quite golden. So you will notice that this maybe runs a little bit pale on me. However, as soon as the winter months start, my tan starts to fade. I will match this perfectly. I'm also going to Canada in the next couple of weeks where it's still quite warm, so more than likely when I'm out and about I will catch more of a tan. So this retails at £27. I bought mine from Boots, which is a drugstore in the UK which now stocks this, and it contains 32ml, which is quite good considering it's £27, so that makes it relatively on the more affordable side for a lot of people, because 30ml is normally the standard amount for foundations. Now this one comes in a plastic tube, which is very different to the other foundation which was in a glass tube. I actually prefer this, and then it has a very easy to use pump on the top as well, so therefore you will be able to get all the product out of it, and then when it does start to finish you can cut it and just take out the last little dregs. So let me just read to you what their claims are off of their website. So it says that it's hydrating, medium to full coverage for all skin tones, long wear, light as air. So it says this is the first of its kind hydrating longwear foundation. I don't understand how it's the first of its kind. They haven't really explained why that they would make that claim. That delivers it all with comfortable, medium to full coverage, serious staying power, and natural finish, perfect for normal to dry skin, all in a groundbreaking range of 50 shades. For reference, I've got combination skin. So normal to dry skin is not really my area that I fit into, but obviously I'm doing a review for you guys. I'm more normal to combination, so I'm drifting towards the more oilier side. So it says, Pro Filt'r fans have spoken and Rihanna has listened. For the first time ever, medium to full coverage meets serious longwear in a hydrating foundation with a perfectly smooth, natural finish that lets skin look like skin. We're talking natural, not dewy, like your skin just had a must-needed drink of water. Recognizing the need for a hydrating Pro Filt'r formula that normal to dry skin types will love, Rihanna created this foundation with grapeseed oil and sodium hyaluronate to give skin the nourishing hydration it needs to stay comfortable all day. Long wear, coverage and hydration. Now you can have it all in 50 shades, each delivered in a portable tube that makes it easy to take with you wherever you go. Just like the original Pro Filt'r, this foundation has a sweat and humidity resistant formula that easily builds to medium to full coverage, instantly evening out skin without clogging pores or settling into fine lines. Plus the long wearing, light as air texture is undetectable on skin, so you always look like you. So that is what their claims are. So just remember those things if you can. If not, just get it off the Fenty website. Now let me read to you what my claims are. Now today is August the 18th. This was released on the 15th. I got mine the following day on the 16th, so I've worn this for 2 days. It is today about 24 degrees in London. It's very nice, beautiful, sunny weather with a nice breeze. Past couple of days, I've actually been really sick. I've been at home, off work, gastro bug. Don't even get me started. Do I look thinner? So I have been testing it out at home. I did go out in the rain briefly, but my temperature's been really high, so I've actually been a lot more warmer and hotter than I normally am. So that's just something to bear in mind when I give you my points, just to understand the kind of environments that I have worn them in. So I would say that I have written, sorry, got my notes here because I couldn't remember, obviously. So many foundations, guys. Medium to full coverage, yep. Highly pigmented, a little bit goes a really long way. Blends easily, it's hydrating, and it's great for dry skin. It is transferable, but they haven't obviously said that it's not, so you can't take that as a minus. I've written here, I've got combination skin and started to look quite dewy, bordering on shiny after 6 hours and started to slightly separate. Does give a soft, dewy, natural looking finish that feels a little bit tacky after powdering. So obviously that kind of does go hand in hand with their claims. So again, you can't give them a negative point because they have clearly stated that it is for people that have got normal to dry skin, of which I don't have. Therefore, if you've got combination skin, 6 hours, you are going to start to look quite shiny, considering I was pretty much indoors. So you can imagine how much more sooner you'll start getting shiny if you are just out and about doing your day-to-day business and you've got skin like mine or you're oily. Skin looked radiant and hydrated. It sits nicely on the skin, does not emphasize pores or texture. It's definitely not for oily skin. Not for all day wear if you've got combination or oily skin. It is long wearing but needs powdering to get rid of shine. So those are my points in regards to me having combination skin and how it would work for you guys out there. This is definitely not for a lot of you. So I do have to actually agree with all their claims. So in the respect of the way that the foundation is for people that have got normal to dry skin, I would probably give this a 9 out of 10. If you've got combination skin like mine, I would have to drop that to a 7. So I think I'm being quite fair in how I kind of give this review. It is not for people who've got skin like mine. So it definitely has a natural finish that lets skin look like skin. What I really like about this is it's very, very pigmented. So like I said already, a little bit goes a really long way. Take from that what you want. It's up to you depending on what your skin type is and how you think it will work with you. I've just got my normal, what's it called? Moisturizer on my face, my Embryolisse, which doubles up as a primer. I would normally wear a mattifying primer for a foundation like this, but just for the purposes of the review and because I want you guys to see what it properly looks like, I'm not going to put any on. Let's just take the nose stud out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my trusty Morphe M439 Deluxe Buffer Brush to apply this to my face. It's got a fairly light-ish texture. It's not too thick, it's not too runny. So I've just kind of done half a pump on this just so that I can start applying it to my face and so you can see what it looks like. I will do half of my face just so that you can see the comparison. Okay, so this is with half of my face done. As you can see, it gives a pretty good coverage considering I didn't actually use my normal 2 pumps as what I would normally do, dot it all over my face, and that would probably be enough. I have got pigmentation, I've got scarring, I've got pitted scars, I've got redness, I've got a beauty spot, and this seems to cover everything quite well. In terms of the color, you can very clearly see that this shade does not have enough of a yellowy golden undertone. So I'm going to do the rest of my face now just so that you can see how it looks. Okay, so that is the entire face covered with one layer. And again, because it is a medium to full buildable coverage, I would need to put extra coverage on these areas. I can still see some of my marks, my scarring, and I can see my beauty spot. But then the beauty of this foundation is that it is buildable. So let's just put on a little bit here, just pressing it into the skin. It blends really, really nicely. And if you happen to have the Fenty concealer, which I am going to use next, just for the purposes of the video, it does actually blend into the concealer really nicely. So there's no stark line that you can get with some which are a little bit more thick. Here, so you can see how it works with my neck. You can see it's almost making me look a little bit grey. And that is because your girl is very golden at the moment. When I tan, I go really golden and then golden brown. So that's why this would work well as an NC40 shade for me. Because at the moment I'm about an NC41, NC42 in the MAC. But when my tan fades, I tend to go kind of pale. And not golden pale either. I mean, like, well, there's the inside of my wrist. Like that, see? Now, if I touch it, it has a tacky feel to it, which isn't a surprise considering that it is a hydrating foundation. Now, it's up to you guys whether you want to set it or not. I would always suggest setting your foundation because it is a liquid product, especially if it is a liquid product, because it will keep your foundation in place for longer. It will keep any kind of sweat that is trying to escape through your skin at bay for longer. It will keep the oils in place for a lot longer. And it will also make any products that you apply on top afterwards, like powder products, a lot more easier to blend. When your face is tacky and you apply contour or blush or whatever it is on top afterwards, it can make it snag and make it go patchy. So always remember to set your foundation. I'm going to use the Fenty powder. Again, just for the purposes of the video, but just use whatever powder of choice that you have. If you insist on buying this foundation, regardless of whether the fact that you've got oily skin or not, use a mattifying primer, use a mattifying powder. So I'm just letting you know. So I'm just going to finish off the rest of my makeup and then I will be back in a moment. Okay, I'm back. The rest of my makeup is done. It's all complete. I set it with the Fenty Pro Filt'r powder, just so that I could let you guys know how it works with that because it's from the same brand. I've had this on my face for, I'd say, about 45 minutes now, and it does feel slightly tacky even after powdering down because obviously it is a hydrating foundation and I am starting to detect a very slight amount of sheen, so it doesn't take long before the hydration starts to appear on my face. But overall, you can see at this point, when it's still fresh and new and lovely, it looks great. It looks natural. It looks soft. Aside from the fact that you can probably tell that the color is very slightly off for me in terms of the undertone, but it's not too bad, meaning that once my tan fades, winter arrives, I will be able to wear it. Even though personally, this isn't going to be something that I will repurchase. I've obviously just bought it for the purposes of my YouTube channel and for my lovely friends. That's you guys, by the way. It's not for my kind of skin type. It's not for combination skin. It's not for oily skin. And even if you've got normal skin, just be careful. For those of you that have got very, very dry skin, however, you'll probably love this. So at least there is something for everybody out there. So that is the one good thing about Fenty, obviously, except for the shade. But yeah, so that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just for reference, I'm wearing, I can't even show you, it's from Primark. It's their liquid lipstick cranberry edit set. It comes in like 4 colours and I'm wearing one of the 4 colours. So that's it. So I hope you guys are wonderful and great. You enjoyed the review. If you've got any comments or questions about this foundation, feel free to ask me below. Other than that, I hope you guys are wonderful and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.